So today is a Vesak day. So this is honoring the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and parinirvana. And so just thinking about what he attained in his life is astounding, isn't it? That he was able to transcend birth, aging, sickness, and death. I mean, I can't even grok that. That's something huge. Yeah. Um, so I thought to talk a little bit about his profound teaching on dependent arising and emptiness. I know this much about it, nothing really, but over the years I've heard a lot and I've thought a lot, and I have a few little things that I can work with. And I thought to just describe kind of the process that might be helpful for some people. And by thinking about this and understanding just a little bit, then, and having a little bit of experience of it, then it gives me encouragement to continue because it's so complicated. It's the hardest thing there ever is. So I can remember when I first heard Venerable Children talk about emptiness, I remember thinking, okay, this is English. I have no idea what she's talking about. What is she saying? And honestly, I had that reaction for many years. It wasn't just, a few talks. It was many years. And so it's very humbling. It's very humbling. And of course, why is that? That I didn't understand. I knew the words individually. I knew what the words were in English, but putting it together, I had no idea what she was saying. Why? Because of my ignorance. I had no frame of reference in my life to think about things the way she was describing. None. So of course, it had no meaning, had no meaning. And I can remember the three words that were the hardest for me in putting them into some kind of context was dependent, independent, and independence. It would go like that, like, what? It took many years to get that kind of clear in my mind. So I didn't really know where to start to, meditate. So I didn't. What I did was listen and read and, keep on showing up, for some years, many years. And at that point, what I was doing was relying on my teacher. She would say things like, planting seeds, And when she said that, what that implies is that at some point, it'll start going in and I'll make some sense of things and start connecting some things. And that has happened. It's just the slowest process that I've ever encountered. That's all. But that's okay. I would say that when I think about my own life and my own experiences, like in school, the only thing really that had any help to me was studying science because I learned about cause and effect. So that was helpful. Not too much, but somewhat, there was at least a bit of a frame of reference. So I think the first practice that I did really was every time I read or heard the word empty, I put with that of inherent existence. Because if I didn't do that, then my concept, my idea of empty was just nothingness. And that is not helpful. So I kept putting the full phrase together. And now when I hear the word empty, in this context, of course, then always what follows is of inherent existence. That goes in my mind. So then I have a proper framework, I guess, or, I'm starting out in a proper way, I will say. Then in 2015, some of us traveled to India, and we were taking some teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And some of us went and had an empowerment, and his commitment for us was to read some verses every day and think about them. And two of the verses that he asked us to read every day and think about were from Nagarjuna's Fundamental Wisdom of the Middle Way, chapter 24, and it was verse 18 and 19. And these verses are, that which is dependent origination is explained to be emptiness. That, being a dependent designation, is itself the middle way. And then the next verse, there does not exist anything that is not dependently arisen. Therefore, there does not exist anything that is not empty. Now, saying these verses every day, and thinking about them, something clicked, especially with verse 19. It really forced me to examine how I was seeing everything as independent, set up from its own side, separate. And it's undeniable that that is how everything appears to me. In this room, everything is, set up from its own side, autonomous. It's undeniable. But this verse propelled me to start questioning that, to questioning the very basic appearance of things, and to really start looking at that a bit. And so I did, and then that kind of helped get some understanding going, I think. So then I started trying to do a little meditation, and I trained my mind to focus on the appearance of the object, not on emptiness. Because if I focused on emptiness, that went nowhere. So I had to focus on the appearance of the object. I had to catch my mind when it agreed with the appearance of the object. Then I could start applying some consequences. And the ones that I use the most are, like if we're thinking about this table, the consequence that works for my mind is it follows that the subject, this table, is not a dependent arising because of inherently existing. So that consequence matches what I'm seeing. Or I could say the subject, this table, does not depend on its parts because of inherently existing. So of course, logically, I know it's a dependent arising, but looking at it, visualizing it, that's not what it looks like to me. And so that's what I have to keep in my mind, and that's what I have to get a feeling for. And when I can do that, then I get a sense of just how wrong I'm seeing things. So it really rests on how I focus on keeping myself on the appearance of the object, really immersing in that. And then, applying the reasoning, when looking for the table, I can't find the table. It's not there. So then that's the emptiness of the inherent existence of the table. So that one I'm still working with, of course, but that's kind of where I am now. So the big aha in the last while is that the object to be negated is inherent existence. That's and my mind doesn't, it's like Teflon. My mind doesn't want to stick on that. It keeps going, it doesn't want to stick on that. It wants to go to the object. It doesn't want to go to the inherent existence of the object. And so that's the over and over again thing that I, have to work with. So that's kind of where I am. Again, itty bitty, teeny little understanding, but When I think about the first time I heard a teaching on emptiness and dependent arising, and it was in my native language, and I had no idea what any of it meant at all, compared to now to be able to work a little bit with something. So that's progress. Is it as fast as I want? No. Is it what it is? Yes. So am I going to give up? No. So, keep on keeping on. So I encourage everybody to keep on keeping on, even when it's like, sounds like a foreign language, just show up and it will come clear at some point.